Never say never. Be ready to do the right thing. In my previous video about 5 things I learned about being a content creator, one of the things I said was never say never. And what I meant by that is the platforms that we as creators send our content to are forever changing. And because they're forever changing, it is good to know about the platforms that you are, going to be streaming to, but at the same token, it's good to understand that because they do change from time to time, you are going to need to be adaptable as all get. So the reason why I say this is there is a current conversation in our community about streaming to YouTube in the vertical format and Instagram in a vertical format simultaneously. Now, that's been amazing. So far, my testing, my partner, Mary Lou Mando, one of my homies that I create with, her testing has been incredible. If you stream in a vertical format to YouTube and Instagram at the same time, the YouTube Shorts platform will give you lots and lots of views. It's because the amount of people that are scrolling by and stop on a live just to check it out, be nosy, that's what people do. It's actually pretty substantial. So you'll notice that if you do vertical streams in a vertical format on YouTube, you will gain some traction. One thing to note though, this traction isn't necessarily your audience, right? And I think this is where the drama comes in. So let's break this down. This is one of those situations where just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. And I think it's very important that you think this thing through when you are making these sort of decisions when it comes to your content. All right. So it doesn't even have to just be in live streaming. This could be in any form of content. So because of the multi-platform capability, a lot of people are wanting to record their podcast live on YouTube, as you should. That's incredible, right? But they also want to simulcast that podcast recording to Instagram. And the behavior on Instagram is not to sit down and watch an hour-long podcast. It's Instagram. INSTA is the Insta stands for instant. And the gram is like a small telegram. Like a telegram is a small message. A telegram isn't a novel. It is a telegram, right? It's supposed to be quick hit, burst of energy, burst of information, to the point, exciting, enticing, informative, funny, cute, heart-wrenching. No, not heart-wrenching. Maybe sometimes heart-wrenching, sometimes gut-wrenching. But, trigger an emotion. That's what the gram hits are for. The gram hits are little hits. They are the amuse-bouche, right? They are not intended to be the content, the long form content, the podcast, the tome your life's work. And people are trying to force that platform. Now I'm going to say this again. I say never because the platform might change. Instagram might find out because they're canceling Meta. It's canceling Facebook group streaming. They might do some things with Instagram streaming to expand that. But for right now, that is not the behavior. So trying to force fit your hour and a half long podcast into a vertical stream on IG just because you can makes about as much sense as screen doors on the submarine again, or breast on a bullfrog. That's not what the real saying is. My friend Tommy's in the chat right now. He's from Alabama. He knows what it really is. But yes, it doesn't make sense. So this is one of those situations where as you're doing this, I do understand the enticement to stream to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, all at the same time, because your ego states that if I go to all these places, I'm going to pick up a couple more people here, a couple more people there. Those couple more people are not helping you, bro. They're not helping you. It is better that you have a targeted strategy with your exact customer avatar or audience avatar, community avatar in mind. What does this person look like for you? I know exactly what my avatar looks like. My avatar looks like a small business owner or entrepreneur, solopreneur who is trying to use the modern media sense, as in content media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, the whole 9 yards, as a way of expanding their business or expanding their message. Maybe you're a teacher and instructor, it's your personal message. You're trying to get that out there to more. But my people aren't 14-year-old gamers. My people aren't 20-something-year-old yoga kudos. My people are Gen X plus creators. I'm dealing with folks who've been here for a minute, has lots of experience, know exactly what they're doing, and are highly smart and intelligent, got degrees up and down the wall, but are frustrated because they can't figure out how to work this. I know how to work this. So I'm also their age, and I don't talk about Call of Duty. So when I have conversations with them about their gear, their business, their stream, their networks, their marketing, their branding, whatever, they know what I'm talking about, and I can speak to them on the level because I can mention game show like Price or Right, and they know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when you know your customer, you know your customer audience, and you know that your people have seen black and white TV before, then you can target that. But like popping up on IG, it just doesn't make sense. And here's the other part. You're trying to run a business, and I don't know, maybe my situation is different, but I'll explain mine. My Instagram following is some, I don't know, 6,000 deep. A large portion of those people are my friends directly in my community here in Honolulu, right? So they're going to come by and say, hey, Doc, what's up? Or, hey, man, did you know that Foodland has those ribeyes you like on sale? Like, they will have nothing to do with the conversation. But because of our relationship, not parasocial, but actual social, what's the opposite of parasocial? That are really, really like, I know them. I seen them, been at their house, know their kids, the whole 9 yards. They're going to say things in that comments that aren't really effective to me teaching you how to expand your business on the internet. So they will almost be distracting, but I cannot ignore them because they're my people. So again, Instagram is not the platform for conducting that type of business. Now, if you have a straight up business profile, maybe, but my profile is a creative profile, but that creative profile came many, 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 many years after just being a normal person on the Instagram. So that being said, these are situations where whatever new technology comes out, and I know it's exciting, the first thing you should do is have a legit, thoughtful, aligned conversation with yourself. I know I can do this, but should I do this? And I have been preaching for years. You do it your way. Your mileage may vary, but I do not think multi-streaming is a fantastic move because most of all, it bifurcates the audience/community. If you're Jefferson Graham and you show up as the 1-2 people on IG while everybody else is on YouTube, you're talking to yourself instead of talking with the large community of people here now. Like in my live studio audience right now, there's about 20, 25 people watching. They all know each other. They're having a great conversation as I record this before I get ready to roll into my Q&A, which I do every Tuesday here on the channel. They know they're going to hi, what's going on. These guys have developed a relationship with each other, and that's what you want. But if I was also going to say Instagram and X and LinkedIn, there's just going to be strangers that will feel left out, not part of the inside joke. They're not going to know. So it's better to be in one place. And then when new people come in, I can trust the people in the chat right now to invite the new person with loving arms and be like, hey, aloha, man. Good to see you here. Doc is doing this recording right now. As soon as he shuts up, he'll talk to us. So hang in, spread the aloha. Like my audience knows what to do when new people come in and make them feel welcome. And you're not going to be able to do that on every platform. And last of all, as Paul says, my moderator, you would drive your moderators insane. So don't get greedy. Get focused. Don't be the guy at the buffet with 3 trays of a bunch of stuff that you're not even going to eat just because you feel like you got to grab a lot because it's a buffet. Like, it's just wasteful. Be intentional. And that's the saying around here. Intent and purpose. Do everything with intent. Do everything on purpose. And I guarantee you, you will have a much, much better outcome. Now, I am going to ask the YouTube guys to pop a video up over here that think you should watch next. Check it out.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, this babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen, make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart, no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up, break you in, then break you out.